Blake and Darren's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
Cayman's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Oh, happy Friday, Sandy. How are you?
Good morning, Blake. Happy Friday. I'm fantabulous. How are you guys doing? Blake and Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Aaron's like, why do you always forget me?
listen, I get it. I'm
good.
stuck in a corner.
Aaron, how are you?
And you know what, too? Because he's the one actually speaking.
I know.
So I find that when I start to multitask, my brain can only come up with one name. So
That's
I was just grabbing
That's
my
the
links there. Yeah. Everybody good?
Yeah. What do you got for us on Friday morning?
So breaking news this morning. Another robbery last night.
Seriously, where at?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting a little bit out of control now. So this one was in Savannah, at Savannah Plaza, which is the plaza that Funky Tangs is in. The little shop, It's like a little mini mart.
Yeah, the mini mart right there. That was robbed?
Yep.
Wow.
All right.
This time, 2 armed gunmen, and the FRU was in the area relatively quickly, trying to apprehend them, and they'd actually set up some roadblocks and stuff. So
Oh, wow.
no bueno.
Mm-mm.
Not
So
a
you got
good
away.
situation. Sorry,
You got away.
they both got away. Yeah.
Oh,
Do they
wow.
know like car or anything?
No, the police actually haven't issued anything. This is just your CMR team on it. The police haven't said a word yet. So at some point this afternoon, they'll release what details they have, but they've not actually done an official release yet.
Okay.
Got a lot of messages going on.
I know.
Every morning, trust me, I put it on silent normally, which I will do now.
Don't worry, we're not live on air.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh my gosh. All right. So cruise numbers have declined, according to Tourism Minister, the Honorable Kenneth Bryan. He was giving an interview recently, and he said that the numbers have declined about 25% over the decline from 1.4 million from 1.9 million. Let me get this right. From 1.9 million to 1.4 million, and he's expecting a further decline over the next 2 years of about 25%. So this is interesting. He said that basically the numbers are going to drop further in 2024 to about 1.32 million, down from 1.4, and that trend will continue, partly because the larger cruise ships, which are what's starting to float out there, are refusing to go to ports that do not have a pier.
Right.
And obviously we don't have a pier.
Mm-hmm.
So that he said that essentially the
We're also
direction
not
that
the size at most of the places that do have piers.
Yes. So he said that they're going to be focusing more on stayovers, which I think was always a good idea in any event.
Yeah.
Sort of quality over quantity for the stayover visitors who spend more money anyway.
Right.
Exactly.
So we shall see how that.
A lot of people will be happy with those numbers, you know. But you know, obviously those that work the cruise ships will suffer a bit as well.
Yes, and you know, I think if you work in the cruise industry specifically, and you hear that, like you're a person hustling on the waterfront, you should probably pay attention and start to
Evolve.
you know, work on your plan of involvement. Exactly. Instead of sitting down waiting, and then when the numbers continue to decline, you say, oh my gosh, I don't have any work. And you know, I think people are already feeling the decline, to be honest.
I think a lot of people
Based on what
aren't
they've said.
taking cruises anyways, though, too. So
Yeah, they're still a little bit high risk in
Yeah.
terms of COVID even. So
or
say a
even
lot high
anything.
risk.
I was going to say COVID, and one person gets a stomach bug, everyone else on the ship gets it.
yeah. So the police have assisted with the rescue of 14 migrants who were adrift at sea. 14 Cuban migrants found themselves after 7 days having some issues with their engine. Their engine basically failed, and the RCIPS helicopter last week stepped up to the plate and provided some assistance to them. Yeah, they're lucky.
Yeah, they are.
They already had ran out of water
Oh,
the day
no.
before. Yeah.
How do they do that? They just ferry down some things from the cockpit? Is somebody dangling off the helicopter?
No, it looks like they were transported to shore by a private yacht. So I think what the helicopter did was simply, got their location, and then directed a vessel to
How
them.
did they know they were out there?
Yeah.
Does it say how they knew? I think they were just doing patrols.
Okay.
Yeah. So the migrant said that they left Cuba several days before.
Find that
And had
boats.
and had passed another vessel about 55 nautical miles northeast of Cayman Brac about 18 hours before. But
these are not the boats you're looking for.
Yeah. So let me see. Well, it says a search and rescue operation was commenced by the Cayman Islands Coast Guard, so they must have had
like information,
some indication. Yeah, maybe the other. It doesn't exactly.
Someone might have seen him and radioed to the Cayman Islands port or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, somebody saw him and called for help, which is what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them. Yeah, that's
all right.
Pretty much it this morning. It's kind of a slow morning.
Well, enjoy your weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah. What do you guys got going on this morning? Or the weekend, I should say.
Oh, relaxing.
Chill weekend.
I say relaxing, but
kids' birthday parties. The typical.
It's time to bust out Christmas decorations. That's what's happening.
Oh yeah, that's
Christmas decorations. Okay.
Why not start it early?
That's early. It's time. It is time, Aaron.
It is November 4th. You're late.
That's right. Yeah. Should have got that on the first, but now, a little bit behind. Check out Sandy's show right now on Bobo 89.1 FM. We'll see you Monday for the news headlines. All right.
Sounds good. All right.
Our segment with Seymour brought to you exclusively.
All right, folks. Good morning. How are you guys? Let's get it kicked off this beautiful Friday. It's Friday. Happy dance.
Peppermint, sorrel, ginger, fever grass, or English. Get it ready. Your morning tea just got hotter.
Ooh, honey child.
On the cold, hard truth. Bobo 89.1 and Cayman's #1 talk show are bringing you morning talk like no one else. Monday Rewind, Impact Wednesdays, Caribbean Connections, and much more. Don't miss a beat with what's happening in the local community. Just keep sipping your tea.
What a mess.
Here's your host, live and direct from the Cayman Islands, Sandy Hill.
All right, folks. Good morning. Good morning. Rise and shine. How are you guys doing today? Hope you're fabulous. It's Friday. Why not? Why not be fabulous on a Friday? I'm just sending out my links to the WhatsApp news group. Well, what do we got on the agenda today? We're going to talk about a robbery spree. And my God, somebody just sent me a video this morning. They've asked me not to share it. And I am so shocked. Honestly, the things that happen in the Cayman Islands for a first world country really do surprise me. Oh my God. We urgently need, and when I say urgently, I do mean urgently, some sort of rental board, rental commission, something. Because the conditions under which people are being forced to live, some people, is just atrocious. I mean, it's shocking, and I feel like it just, you talk about human rights, you guys got to see some of this stuff. Oh, excuse me, sneezing. Sorry. You must see some of the oh, somebody said they can't hear me on radio. That's weird. Okay, let me see what's going on. Okay. Let me see what's happening. Let me have a quick look. Oh, I see. For some reason, hold on now. The live button is on, but it looks like the mic isn't picking me up. Let me just check now. Okay, I think. I don't know what's going on. Weird. Testing. There we go. This thing, I think it changes itself. Super weird. Okay. Yeah, I'm supposed to start the all right, so hopefully he'll patch me in just a second. The fact that he's there talking means that he's watching it. Good old Chuck. I tell you, he's on it, although he doesn't always tell me. Someone says your audio sounds tiny. Doesn't sound like your microphone is on. It sounds more like the computer mic. Oh, from the others that came in. Oh, okay. Well, let's see if we can get on radio this morning. All right, let's give Chuck a minute to see that it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know. This kind of has me puzzled. But anyway, you've got lots of, you've got like 2 different mic settings that when I look at them in the shortcut area, because I can't see the full, it says the name, then ... I can't actually see the full name. And I think sometimes it just changes. So that one is Pro. And what is this other one? I don't know, honey chill. Open volume mixer. Let me have a look and see which one is actually on. So there's that one. What's the other one called? That one's the main. Okay. All right. Very good. I think we're good now. But somebody should change the name of these because they both start out with the same name. So when you're looking at, I know you guys have no idea what I'm actually talking about here. You can't actually see what the proper name is, which is a problem, I think. I'm going to show y'all here in a second exactly what I'm talking about. And I think I should report this to the sound people who make this board that I use. Because it is a little bit annoying that the names are like, they name them the same thing. And so when you look at it in the shortcut area, you can't actually see which of the 2 you're on because they're pretty much the same name. All right, have a look at this. Let me show you all what I'm talking about because you're like, what? No clue, Sandy. We don't know what you're talking about over there. All right, good morning to Bobo listeners, 89.1 FM. I understand we're now live on radio. I was saying that my mics, I think, sometimes kind of change themselves. The only thing I ever change is my output, because if I'm sitting here using the same computer, I don't like to actually have something over my ears or the headphones in all the time. So I'll change the output so I can hear the computer speakers, but then that changes it. And then when I go, okay, let me show you here. Those of you who are online can see what I mean. You see how the third one down says Rodecaster Pro 2, and then the one that has a little check mark next to it says the exact same thing. They're actually different devices, but because they start out with almost the same name, because then it says something different towards the end, but you can't see past the ... in this screen. When I select the wrong one, I don't always know that I'm selecting the wrong one. And they seem to kind of move up and down on that list. I'm going to send the developers of this board a little suggestion to change the beginning of the name so that people like me can see right away what they're connected to. Anyway, I was saying before we got distracted by, thank you so much, by the way. There's some of you who, Denise, thank you, who are really, really good with telling me immediately when I'm not on radio. And I appreciate that because What a mess. Because, yes, we just got the inside scoop on something, honey. Chill. Woo-hoo. CMR be working hard to get y'all the inside scoop. If y'all know sometimes what it takes. Yes. Let me get this one to Renee right away so she can work on that. So interesting. Anyway, I can't tell you all about it until it drops. Sorry. Sometimes you got to keep it a little secret. But we'll have it. It'll drop soon. Don't worry. So anyway, yes, I was saying how we live in such deplorable conditions here in the Cayman. Some people are forced to live in conditions where they're renting, and it just should not be the case, to be honest. It's kind of sad. You know, one of the reasons I was forced many, many moons ago, not long after I came back, to see the necessity of becoming a homeowner was because landlords even then were running amok. It's like, these landlords are just not easy. I told you all about the landlord, the husband of the couple. He was one of the landlords too, to be fair to the poor wife. She didn't have any control over him. But, you know, he used to do all sorts of foolishness, drugs and drinking and whatever. But I realized how difficult it was back then to find a place that would take dogs. And you guys know I'm a dog lover. I've always had dogs pretty much as an adult. So that's one of the reasons I went and found my own place. And, you know, even back then, just to give you guys an insight into the real estate market, when I got my own place, the property was valued, I think, at a certain amount, which obviously the bank is only going to loan you that amount, but the seller wanted more. So we did a side agreement with the seller where it wasn't much more, but we did a side agreement with them to kind of pay them the difference. And they were willing to do like a little owner financing of that portion of it. We need a rental board, some kind of rental commission, something that can actually inspect and approve places for rent, just like how, you know, we have it for hotels and stuff like that. Soon the government is going to start charging you all an accommodation tax on your private rentals. Kind of don't want to put that idea out there in the universe, but it happens in a lot of places. Even Cuba does it. If you do private rentals, especially to tourists, you have to pay an accommodation tax, just like the hotels and everybody else. But here, people have Airbnbs. But aren't you supposed to be registered if you have an Airbnb? What is it? Not Airbnb, Airbnb. Are you not supposed to be registered anyway and paying a tax? I kind of think you are. But, you know, it's just crazy. The conditions. So this person sent me a video, but they've asked me not to share it yet because they're trying to find an accommodation. So listen, let's help this person out, because if y'all saw this video, I want to show y'all the video, but I need to respect my sources. So when people send me something and they say, Sandy, please don't share this yet, because they don't want to jeopardize, even though they are living in deplorable conditions and nowhere where humans should be living, it's still a place, if you know what I mean. So they don't want to jeopardize that place until they have somewhere else. So here are their needs. Let's see what we can do to help. They are looking for, my God, I mean, I cannot believe this video. They've actually sent more than one video. And these people should be reported to the police. When this individual finds a place, believe me when I tell you, these people need to be reported to the police. This should be a criminal offense if it isn't. That's how egregious this is. And I know I can't show you what it is, but you're going to have to take my word for it. This person doesn't have any family in the Cayman Islands. Apparently they have a child for a Caymanian, another deadbeat father. Oh, Jesus. Can we have a prayer for the deadbeat fathers on this island? Young ladies, when you come from abroad, I know that you might be coming from worse situations than you were in before, but I'm begging you, don't get pregnant by a Caymanian that you don't know, because these guys don't care. They're not going to help you with your child. Oh my God. Now this one is in prison for 5 years. Oh, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? People, women, please, your life is on the line here. This is, I don't know what conditions you're coming from, like I said. I imagine it could have been worse for you to even put up with something like this, because I wouldn't be put up with nothing like this. But don't put yourself in a situation. Just come here on your little work permit, honey child, and just keep working. So now she has a Caymanian child. She's not a Caymanian. She needs to find a place quite urgently. She says, I don't have a paper. I think she means immigration papers. The baby was born prematurely and he has special needs. Oh my gosh. Poor thing. Special needs and living in this condition. Oh, Jesus. Take the wheel. Take the whole neighborhood. So they're looking for a place, no more than $600, so they're able to pay for a room. They get $800 a month, I think, and they have to buy food and Pampers and everything. So the remaining $200, they have to try to live off of that. So they say, I'm a very clean person, but the baby's 2 years old and he has special needs. He can't walk. He's very quiet. He doesn't go crying or bother the neighbors. She says he's the best baby and we're very clean and respectful. She's willing to go up to $650, but it has to include everything, light and water, please. All right, folks. So urgent plea this morning. If you can assist a single mother with a special needs child, she is being assisted by NAU. But of course, I keep telling people that NAU is not in the business of helping you find a place. They are merely in the business of giving you the assistance once you have sourced a place. And that does create certain difficulties for people. Just shoot me a message if you are able to assist in any way. Would really, really appreciate it. So I'm happy to talk to you guys this morning. We've got some special guests. I see them in the back studio. Just going to give them another little minute in case they need a second to sort anything out, and then we're going to bring them on. I've talked about on this program before the necessity to really support our young people in any way that we can, and we, do our best to highlight all the positive things that our young people are doing. So we're going to be bringing some of them in here in just a second. But of course, it is Friday, and we want to ensure, in the typical Caymanian fashion, that we are, showing our good manners, saying good morning to everyone. So let's just check in with everyone and see how you guys are doing. So just give me one quick second here. Just need to do a little something behind the scenes. All right, there we go. We'll do that. Okay, so who do we have joining us this morning? Our audience or listeners, lots of you already tuned in. We have, first up, Miss Vernita. I feel like Miss Vernita is always the first one most mornings to really greet us, and that is so fabulous. Thank you, Miss Vernita. She's been under the weather, recently. So I'm so tickled pink that she has decided to join us as much as she can every single morning. Super cool. All right. Let's see. Who else do we have here? All right. We have at Cayman Detailing, Miss Joy, Wee Wee, and Olivia. Thank you guys so very, very much as well. All right, let's pause our good morning greetings. I think the team is ready. The Cayman Robotics team. Are you guys ready? All right, let's bring you in. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you guys doing?
We're good.
We're good.
All right, so let's introduce yourself. Who's Desmond? We've got the John Gray High School subject leader of design technology, Mr. Desmond, is right over there in the corner.
Yep.
Good morning, Mr. Desmond.
Good morning.
We have, is it Tejan Hansra, who is John Gray High School dual enrollment student. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Marissa, is Marissa there? Marissa, right? Hi, Marissa.
Hi.
All right, we've got Alexander Walters from CIS. Where is Alexander?
Right here.
Hi, Alexander. Good morning. Diamond White, St. Ignatius Catholic. Hey, Diamond. And Ms. Glenda McTaggart, who is part of the Minds Inspire team. Morning, Ms. Glenda.
Morning. Thank you for having us on, Sandra.
No problem at all. I see the two of you are kind of on the outlines of the camera. That's okay. I know how these cameras are sometimes with the angles, but wonderful good morning to you guys. Recently, the robotics team went away and represented the Cayman Islands in Geneva, right?
Correct.
I want you guys to tell us a little bit about your experience, what it was like, and what was the best part of the trip.
Well, it was a really good experience to travel from here to Geneva. It was a pretty long trip, but a pretty enjoyable trip. Once we got there, we were well accommodated for. We were treated with nice things. The competition was really nice. That a lot of people to talk to us about STEM technology, how it could impact our future, how this is a good career path. And the competition itself was very enjoyable as well.
Right. Now tell me, what sort of robotics did you build? What did you take with you?
Alex, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so our robot, so there's a task, and it was assigned to us. They gave us a video, and we had to sort of build a robot to complete the task in the video, and every country did that. So we had to come up with specific ideas and our own ideas to complete those tasks and collaborate with other robots in that competition and score as many points as possible. So one of the tasks was climbing up a tall sort of
Tower.
pretty much tower. So we had to figure out a way to do that. Also, one of the tasks was shooting balls. We also had to figure out a way to shoot balls accurately into the tower as well.
Nice.
And just to add to that, Sandra, the theme for the competition was carbon capture. And so balls that were used represented carbon that in the atmosphere, that teams work together to actually pick up these carbons and put them in what is called a sink. Simulate what needs to happen in terms of to slow down global warming. So that was part of the bigger picture that the students learned about global warming and its effects on us all over the world.
Yeah. And how technology and innovations can help to slow down global warming by creating, robots, machinery that are able to actually take carbon out of the atmosphere. So that was sort of the overall theme of the program. And so our robot was designed to do that.
Yes. Give me one quick second. I do have some radio guests who are saying that they're having a little bit of an issue hearing you guys. So let me just get you to speak again for me, and let me see what changes I can possibly make. Just keep talking for a second. Anybody? Ms. Glenda, tell us a little bit about the, I'm just trying to see what could potentially be going on here, but tell us a little bit about the Minds Inspired program and what you guys do. And then I'm going to see, I can't hear him talking, says somebody else. Okay.
So the Minds Inspired program is a program that is, I guess the mission is to inspire and encourage students in the area of STEM. So science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And so the robotics program is part of that Minds Inspired mission. It's a way to get students excited about STEM and excited about sort of hands-on learning. There's a lot of learning that goes into the program. So students are tasked with designing the robot to carry out whatever tasks or whatever the game is that year. They are then building the robot, testing the robot, revising the design and perfecting it. So one of the things about, the differences between sort of learning physics in a classroom or learning physics from a textbook versus learning physics in a hands-on environment where, you're shooting things across the room and, understanding trajectory from a textbook versus a mechanical device is definitely a much better way to learn, much more motivating way to learn for students. So robotics is just one of the programs that we have in the Minds Inspired program. There are some others, but today we're, talking about our experience in Geneva and as well, talking about sort of the robotics program that goes on within the schools, which we are sort of launching next week. That leads us to this global program where we take students overseas.
Okay. I think I've got you now in terms of what was going on. My apologies about that to our Bobo listeners. They were having a little bit of difficulty hearing us, but I think you're good now. All right. So, Glenda was just sharing with us, Glenda McTaggart, who's part of the DARTS Mind Inspired team, was just sharing with us what the remit is of Minds Inspired. We've heard from some members already of the Cayman Islands robotics team. They recently went to Geneva to compete in the, I guess it was an international robotics competition. What were some of your, how many other countries or, areas were represented? And who did you see, young folks, as some of your really stiff competition? Who were the teams to really watch?
Well, there were around 100 and something countries were there. So a lot of different countries, most countries around the world were there. And the main teams were Switzerland and I think Mexico. Those teams are very well equipped and their robots were really well put together and their teamwork was on one of the highest levels. And so I think those are the countries that we can maybe expect some of the future STEM leaders to come from.
Nice. So those are the teams to watch. We do have the young lady here, Marissa. You're the only young lady on the international team? Hi.
Hi.
So what does it feel to be the only young lady amongst a few young men? Do you feel an extra competitive push from them to step up your game? Do they treat you like a little baby sister? What is it like being with them?
Well, being with them, I'm treated just as how they would treat each other, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I also feel like a role model to younger females to join the STEM program and step up in that aspect.
Yes, beautiful. So do we have any samples? I know we have a couple videos that we're going to play here in a second, but did you guys bring anything that you could show us, like a little model in your hand or anything like that? No?
We did not.
Okay.
So the way that the program works, Sandra, is after the competition is over, the robot gets taken apart and put back into the parts bin, and all of the parts are recycled. So it's all
about recycling.
Sustainability of the program. So we sort of take a picture of the robot, and then after that, it's gone forever and gets recycled into another program.
Oh, that's wonderful. All right, let's watch a little video here. Again, folks, if you're just joining us, especially on radio, I know we had some audio issues. This is the Cayman Islands International Robotics team. And then we're going to tell you, if you're listening to this program, you're thinking, oh my gosh, my kid would be interested in this. I'm going to tell you guys, or they're going to tell you a little bit about how you can find out more about the program. So have a look at this. Well, that was very cool to see so many young people getting excited about robotics and science and physics and just being from all over the world. So who actually won? I saw some of the winners there on stage. Who were the winners?
With how the competition is structured, there are alliances.
Okay.
So for the final stage of the game, there were 4 team alliances. So each alliance had 4 teams that competed against another 4. For each match, though, 3 of those 4 would have competed. And so the winning alliance involved Switzerland, I think Lithuania. Switzerland, Lithuania. They were playing against, I'm trying to remember the other one who was in that match, but Mexico was in the final alliance too. And
Nigeria.
Was it? I think Tonga. I think yes. Right.
So one of the interesting things about the competition is no one team really competes individually. You're always, through the whole program, your partner in one match might be your opponent in the next match. So one of the mantras of First Robotics is something called gracious professionalism. So it's really about being, good sports, about being a statesman for your country, and some of those are some of the learnings that students take away from the program. So it's really about cooperation and collaboration So not only within your robotics team, but also within the bigger picture in terms of collaborating with countries. The students will tell you about what it's like to kind of find out who you're matched up with, and then you've got to you want to talk about how you quickly kind of get to know them and create a little, like a team.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, we got a schedule of all our games. It showed us who our teammates were, who our opponents were, and so about, I'd say, 15 minutes before each game, we go around to each teammate and maybe some of the opponents, ask what their robots can do, work out strategies with them to see how we could maximize our points. And it may also involve going to our opponents, seeing what their robots are capable of, and seeing how our alliance could try to counter what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
So a lot of strategy.
Yes. Yeah, wonderful.
The points that you score and your opponent's points, they're added to both of your alliances. So strategizing with your opponents as well can help your team. If your opponent score, then you also score. So
wow, that's pretty cool.
Together on a global scale.
Yeah, so it's all about teamwork. And I want to acknowledge, speaking of the team, let me just show the entire robotics team. There was more individuals that make up the Cayman robotics team here. So big shout out. Can you give us the names of your other teammates who are not necessarily in the show this morning?
We're competing with A-level chemistry exam and such, so we're not able to get everybody here.
Yeah, no problem.
But we have Drew Kalea, who's from Triple C. We have Max Clark, who's also from CIS, and we also have Michael Marzuka, who's from St. Ignatius.
So this is absolutely wonderful, and I love to see that for the robotics team that you've got all of the schools represented. So tell us a little bit, Glenda, about, if students are interested in this or parents are interested in finding out a bit more about this specific competition or this specific, team that they can join. What is it that they need to do and who should they contact?
Sure. So this is the perfect time of year because right now we are just about to start our inter-school robotics program called the First Tech Challenge. So in that program, each school has a robotics team. And then in February, we come together for our big competition where the schools compete against each other. And so it's from that program that we select the students for the overseas First Global and the national team. So if a school is interested in participating, and I think we pretty much have, all of the high schools. We had, during COVID, we lost a couple of the schools because they couldn't always do extracurricular. But from the look of it, this year we've got everybody back. So that's really exciting for us. Some schools, for example, John Gray, how many students do you have this year, Desmond?
Well, the number has grown significantly. At our recent clubs fair, we have over 50 students signing up.
Wow.
Showing interest in being a part of the robotics program. So this
is fantastic.
So I think CIS is about the same with over 40 students. So that way the school can build multiple robots, makes the competition quite exciting. So if it's a school that's not participating, they can send a message to us, the Minds Inspired at dart.ky. And I will say that the whole program, Sandra, is at no cost to schools. So, I mean, robotics programs are quite expensive. We are absolutely delighted that we have an amazing lineup of sponsors that help fund this program. So CUC, Digicel, Arium Re, Health City, and this year we took on KPMG. So they're all schools they're all businesses that have a really close connection to STEM, and through their generous sponsorship, we can do the tournament. We can take the students away to the First Global event, and it's at no cost to them. It's all fully sponsored.
Well, I mean, thank you so much to those corporate sponsors. So again, folks, if your children might be interested, is there anything at the middle school level before they get to high school that they can kind of dabble in?
Yeah, there is a program called the 345 Robotics. It uses VEX, I think VEX Robotics kids. You'll see that they have camps, and I know they have a website, so you can check them out. And that's for slightly younger students. So our program is for high school students, and that's been our primary focus.
Right.
Hopefully one day we'll expand to offer it to younger students. There's lots of different programs that you can do with your children. Lego Robotics is becoming very popular, and so those are very affordable and available. And I know some of the primary schools now are doing the Lego Robotics program, and so yeah, it's never too early to start teaching your kids about technology and innovation, very basic kind of coding, and so so that's basically how you access the program. We will definitely be calling you for when we host our tournament in February.
Yes, please.
We'll let you come down and try to drive some robots, and you have a daughter.
I think yes.
Part of
she would probably do a better job driving them at 6 than me. I'll end up crashing them into who knows what. But it's fun, and I will definitely come. So Jonathan says, looks like a lot of fun. I wish I had that when I was in school. I probably would have paid better attention. So let's just hear, before we let the young folks get back to school this morning, let's just hear a little bit from them about what is their favorite part of being on the robotics team.
Alex,
so I think there's two things for me. I like the collaboration. I like the collaboration of ideas, and also the mechanical side. That's probably my favorite part. I just enjoy working on finding a solution to the problem with mechanical design. So, yeah.
Nice. And do you see robotics helping you with a future career? What are you interested in doing?
Yeah, I'm interested in something engineering-wise. So robotics is definitely something that would help me in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Who wants to go next?
I'd say my favorite part would be the designing and engineering aspect. So looking at the challenge, coming up with ideas how to solve it, thinking of efficient solutions, and trying to execute them into making a working robot that would complete the task in a good way.
My favorite part would be the programming aspect, because it's a lot more challenging than just programming something that's purely software based, because there's a lot of different variables and different things that you have to control when you're programming for something that actually exists in real life, like a robot. There's a resistance, there's different mechanical things that can happen to your robot that you have to account for. And I like problem solving, and so I enjoy that challenge and working together with the mechanical team and my other programming team member to accomplish our goal.
Wow, very good. And Miss Marissa, what's your favorite part of robotics, you think?
My favorite part of robotics is the hands-on aspect. Theory is okay, but when you can get your hands dirty with the mechanical parts of the robot is so much fun.
Yes. Awesome. All right. Well, very good. So folks, again, now is the time if you have young people that you would like to get involved in this. They're having their first tech challenge in high schools next week. The program is free to schools and anyone to participate, or anyone can participate. Do contact the Minds Inspire team. It is a first tech challenge, and it's an inter-school robotics competition that will actually take place in February. And the National Robotics team is then selected from the top performers at First Tech. So this is the first step to kind of get the ball rolling, get them involved in this. And then, of course, as Glenda said, they'll keep us updated on the progress of these young folks. Always send us stuff, Glenda. We're happy to post it. We have a lot of young people who follow us, I know, on Instagram and Facebook, and they love to see each other involved in a lot of positive things such as this. So we thank all of the corporate sponsors, of course, who made it possible for the Cayman team to go to Geneva this year and to compete in the robotics competition. And I must tell you, as I was watching the video there, with all the different teams from all over the world and kids getting so excited, it occurred to me that, when you're in high school, you don't know this yet, young folks, but take my word for it, as someone who's a little bit older, when you're in high school, you're going to have these amazing experiences that when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and beyond, that you're going to reflect back on and see them as kind of like a really standout moment, sometimes a life-changing moment for you. I'm sure most of you have never been to Geneva before, so maybe you had a little bit of extracurricular fun whilst you were there for the robotics competition. But you get to meet people and really expand your horizons, different cultures, different teams, and all of that is super exciting and something that later on in life you will, in your future, just sort of reflect on, and with just fond and positive memories. So good luck to all of you. Continue to work hard and to do positive things.
Good. Thank you, Sandra. We really appreciate you giving us this spot, and we hope that there will be more to come, and you will follow our progress, because it is a really great program, and the more kids we can get involved in it, the better.
Wonderful. All right, guys, have a great day. Have a safe weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye. And we do have another video here, which we're also going to play as well. But again, this is absolutely wonderful. All right, folks, so that was pretty cool. Really fantastic to be able to see, again, our young people participating in such positive activities. I enjoyed it very much, especially seeing the young girls, because young girls, when it comes to physics and the chemistries, a lot of the sciences, unfortunately, a lot of our female teenagers are oftentimes left behind, even when it comes to math. We have different expectations of young girls that, they're going to be more interested in the language arts and, these other things. But look at this. They're interested in physics, chemistry, robotics, engineering, and I absolutely love it. Mechanics, that young lady said, Marissa, that she likes to get her hands dirty. I like that. This is just a fantastic program. So again, if you're interested, please contact Minds Inspired. Their website is mindsinspired.ky, and Minds Inspired is a DART sponsored program. I think they also do the DART Scholar that comes out of that, where they just really, and I'll post up some of the pictures a bit later on social media, where they really focus on a lot of like STEM related programs, and just, I think it's a fantastic program. We need to learn more about it. But there were 165 countries at the first global, including Team Hope, which represented refugees from around the world. Isn't that fantastic? And the competition was last month, around the middle of the month. So they had an amazing opening ceremony, as you could see in the first video, kind of similar to what they do in the Olympics, where they come out, the different teams come out into the big arena with their national flags. Of course, Cayman was there with our flag being represented by these young people who were participating. And look at who they ran into. Will I Am, who was there. Apparently he loves robotics, and he was there, just, I guess, watching these young people. And he said that he has had, sort of an interest in this particular area for a really long time. So he went to support. Let me show you guys a little picture of our robot with the little team Cayman flag on it. This is so super cute. Hold on a second here. So these are the positive things, folks, that, we've got to really take time to encourage our young people to do. Look at that. Look at Cayman's robot representing. There's the beautiful Cayman flag. I love it. Yay. Gorgeous. So, these young people, let me do my robot voice. Hold on. Look at that beautiful flag. It is so awesome. Congratulations to the robotics team. There you go. So again, congrats to the young people who represented the Cayman Islands in a very positive way. Yes, good. All right. Let me see now. Let's take a quick commercial break. I see lots of you here in the house. We have somebody just said they were joining us from Maryland. Oh, yes, Miss Carla says hashtag Good Morning World. She is watching from Maryland. Thank you, Miss Carla. Our reach beyond the Cayman Islands just continues to grow, and it's so amazing to see all of our international followers who tune in every single day. Okay, wonderful. Let's have a quick message from some sponsors.
Recover Personal Injury Attorneys, helping injured people get what they deserve. Did you know that insurance companies have lawyers that represent their interests? Before signing and accepting any settlement, know your rights. Call us today for a free consultation at 924-9999. That's 924-9999. Recover. Your personal injury attorneys are on standby to assist.
Wonderland Christmas trees are here. It's official. It's Cayman's most wonderful time of the year. Don't delay or all the elves will give the trees away. Stop by our Christmas tree lot to select from the finest balsam fir trees, starting at $100 for 5 to 6 feet. Christmas lot is located right next to Cost You Less in Governor Square. Selected from the best farms in Canada, your tree has been grown with love and care by all our elves for many years. Wonderland Christmas Trees is owned and operated by experienced elves with over 6 years of industry experience. Don't trust your Christmas tree needs to anyone else. And remember, for every tree you purchase, Wonderland Christmas Trees makes a donation to Feed Our Future and Meals on Wheels. Visit wonderlandtrees.ky or find us on Facebook to place your order today. Christmas tree sales going on now. Don't delay. Wonderland Christmas Trees, your best choice for Christmas.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas! Are you tired of overpaying for TV services? Can't figure out VPNs? Constantly missing your favorite TV shows? And no access to the good stuff on streaming services? The frustration is real, but it doesn't have to be. Contact Robotics, Cayman's streaming pros. We'll put you back in the driver's seat in front of your TV. Call, WhatsApp, or message Robotics today on 926-1213. Robotics is not a TV service provider. Terms and conditions apply.
'Tis the season to advertise your business's holiday specials and sales events. Don't miss out on Cayman's #1 social media, talk show, and website platforms to spread your message to thousands of people locally and abroad. Christmas dining and entertainment venues? Call us today. Retail shopping for special friends and family? Call us today. Christmas rentals and accommodations? Call us today. Cayman's #1 news platform is the best way to reach the largest available audience, resulting in more sales for your business. Contact CMR today at sales@caymanmarlroad.com or 324-1612.
In the mornings, no one wants to miss listening to the Cold Hard Truth or reading CMR. Cayman's #1 news platform has made your morning commute fun again. Pass this time with the Cold Hard Truth on weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Talk radio that's engaging, entertaining, and enlightening. But be careful. Some mornings it's so hot, you might run into a bit of trouble.
All right, folks, welcome back. And do not run into anyone. Don't run into any trouble at all. Little pun intended. If you see that video, it's so cute because it's actually, for those of you on the radio, you might not know, but the person driving is the dog because the owner of the dog is too busy listening to CMR, so he's letting the dog drive. Funny, but obviously, don't try to make your dog drive the car. That should go without saying, right? All right. Thank you guys so much for, we got the audio sorted out. I got to make some notes on the different settings because there's settings in the board, and then there's settings in the computer, and then there's settings in the web link. So Chuck is amazing. He sits back there and makes sure that everything gets sorted out. So Sarah, yes, we should be live on radio now. We're all good to go. And the radio system, after a while, I think it's like a minute or so, when it hears dead air, it automatically like auto plays something else. And I think that's what you guys were hearing was the autoplay thing. So once Chuck went in there, we were able to sort out the issue on this end. He was able to get us back on live. So bit of teamwork. Alejandro, good morning. Miss Melita's here. June, Diamond Princess. Fidel says, how come the MP was not charged for DUI? Fidel, I'm so glad you're here this morning. And I'm so glad that you've asked the question. He wasn't charged with DUI because he wasn't DUI. How can you charge someone with something that they were not doing? So, Fidel, I know that you guys are convinced that you're all doctors and physicians and virologists and Dr. Google and Dr. Google lawyer and all this sort of stuff. But there are times when you have to be willing to listen to the people whose jobs it is to actually do certain things. We broke the story about the MP, right? Before we could go any further, because we knew right away that it was an MP, and yes, we knew exactly who he was, but we wanted to get some details to actually be able to put a story together. We contacted the relevant authorities. We contacted Mr. Dwayne Seymour himself, and we contacted other people who wished to remain anonymous about what went on at the scene. Mr. Seymour said he was not drinking. He had left work and maybe he was a little bit overtired and it was merely an accident and that was it. But in true CMR fashion, we don't take one person's word for it. We triple check and we double check and we speak to other people. And there are other people who were there, who arrived at the scene, who spoke to John, and they can tell you also that there was no indication whatsoever that he was drinking. Despite that, your persistence, you and what's his name? Ebanks. Oh God, what the heck is his name again? I know when you have a bone with this government, Clinton, that you think that every single thing has some taintedness, like, oh, they must have done something wrong. So based on your insistence, we went back again to the RCIPS and we said, police, these detectives on Facebook do not want to believe that John was not drunk. When you say that there was no need to do a breathalyzer, et cetera, why not? You have to give us more information because they're still not convinced. So we need to be able to answer these questions. That's why I'm glad you're asking this morning, because I'm going to take the opportunity to tell you what the police came back with again for the second time. Hold on now. This was Wednesday at 4:36 p.m. We emailed them back on Tuesday at 12:32 p.m. And we said, the public is pressing for additional information on the below. Was he subjected to a breathalyzer or any other form of an examination? They're wondering how the assessment was made, that this was not a DUI matter. The police came back and said the following. Listen carefully, folks. The Traffic Act does allow for breath testing of drivers following a collision. However, the Act makes it clear that the officer may, and they put that in bold, request the driver to provide one. In this case, following close observations of the driver, the officer assessed and formed a professional opinion that a breath test was not necessary. That is the official position, Fidel, from the police. So the police have no reason whatsoever to suspect that John was under the influence. Other independent eyewitnesses who were there have no reason, based on what they've told us, to believe that John was under the influence. So it was an accident. It happens. Which of you have not had an accident and you weren't drunk? I've had accidents and I don't drink. It can happen. That's all I can tell you. Cameron says, the more experts we have, the worse things become. Because everybody wants to be an expert, honey chill. Ezio says, I got breathalyzed because my headlight was out. This brother crashes a car and doesn't get breathalyzed. I don't see if there was no indication for him if a light gave reason for me. You might think it was a light, but it might have been something else that led the officer to want to breathalyze you. Now, it doesn't take much anymore because the legal limit has been reduced. Some people say that's the equivalent of just a couple drinks. But again, it is a matter for the officer at hand. And if he was inebriated enough to take out a light pole, I would think, just logically speaking, again, I'm not a detective here and I'm not a police officer, and these guys do have some degree of experience dealing with people, especially in traffic situations. I would think that it would have been, if alcohol had played a part in that it would have been pretty obvious, actually. I'm just saying. But that's what it is. So Ezio thinks it's special treatment. Ezio, by the way, I noticed that this is your first time on the platform and you've got quite a bit to say this morning. And I can't help but think that this is actually one of those fake accounts. Let me just have a look at your Facebook profile to see when you created it. Just curious. Ezio Auditors. Give me a second, Ezio. I'm going to check you out. Again, there's a lot a lot of observations that people can make based on, just experience. Just like how I'm feeling that your account looks less than legit. That just comes with a degree of experience of having sat in this seat for the past 2+ years doing this show every single morning. I kind of realize a fake account when I see one. So let's have a look, Ezio. Give me 1 second. Let's see how spot on I am. Hold on. Let's see how good my skills are. Ezio. Let's see who Ezio is. Ezio. Mm-hmm. Where are you? Why? Give me a second now. Where are you? Good morning to Miss Anne. New comments. So, Ezio, where do you show up? So you're showing up on my thing as one name. This is a little bit strange. I need to look for the comment now. He says, ha, ha, ha. Alejandro says, ha, 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 ha. Miss Sandy's on you, honey child. So we've got Scott, Cameron. Ezio says civil servants can't speak their voice against the masters. You know this. So Ezio's claiming to be a civil servant. Good morning, caller. I'm sounding muffled. Oh, okay. Let me see I don't know what's going on with the microphones today. Hold on. Let me see. I mean, everything here looks good. Let me change this again. So right now. All right. So keep listening and let me know if you continue to hear it. Yes. Thank you so much. Let me just thank you, honey. I appreciate it. Let me just check with Chuck. Mic sounds poor. All right, this might be a Chuck issue. Thank you so much for that. Let me have Chuck. Hey, can you check? Yes, thank you, darling. All right. Yeah, this is what I'm telling you. Nothing. I've not changed anything since I've been standing here. So if it came on all of a sudden, then it's definitely You sound froggy on the radio too. So I think that's where people hear me. Okay, let me, that sounds like that's probably something on their end. So Teus says I sound fine on YouTube. I think I'm fine on social. I'm still trying to find you there. So you're admitting to me, young man, that this is a fake account? Ask me how I know your man. The strange thing is, Ezio, why am I not seeing you in the Facebook comments? But it's a Facebook account? This is a little bit strange. Unless you're showing up under a different name now. Alejandro. We have Aliano. Your comment comes after Alejandro. Oh, this is really bizarre. Okay, give me 1 second. There's more ways to skin a cat than that. I'll check the backup Facebook account. This is a puzzle that requires solving while we sort out the audio. All right, let me see here. Cayman Mall Road. And we are live. Good morning to Scott. Yes, let's see. He says it's because he is a civil, but Carlos Lobo. Carlos, how the hell did you get on here? Excuse my language. Good morning, caller. How are you? It's good now? Thank you, baby. I appreciate it. That's Chuck. Yes, Chuck done what he had to do, honey child. Thank you. Okay. So, yeah, I figured it wasn't me because I hadn't changed anything else. Carlos, is that you with another fake account again? Let me see. Are you showing up? Carlos Lobo. Carlos, how do you keep showing up here when we keep blocking you? How many fake accounts is it possible for you to set up before Facebook is like, block that IP address? All right, I can't find you, which is interesting, but I'm gonna find you, Ezio. Carlos, today's the day for interesting people to come out on CMR, evidently. Now, if y'all behave, you can stay another minute if you behave. Because I'm a person that believes in so many chances with these fake accounts. Oh, Lord Jesus. Some days you got to take out the Bible, honey child, and just say a mini prayer. Well, Carlos, you've been blocked before, and you certainly know why. But maybe you're taking the medication now, so we're going to let you stay. Just relax yourself. He says, I'm having a difficult time choosing a degree and career. What did Cayman expect of me? Oh, why y'all love to ask me these questions? You really want me to go there? I better not. Lord Jesus. Alejandro says, what special treatment? I don't know. I don't know what y'all talking about. Cameron, good morning. You're in the house today. I can tell you one thing. I don't know about most, most police officers would be probably more than tickled pink to be the officer that catches an MP drinking and driving. So I don't think that that is what has happened here at all. Did he take his eye off the road and veered off the road? Was he tired, like he said? Was he falling asleep? Let me say this in defense of John John. Now, y'all know I have really, Chuck says, people never realize how much it takes to make a live perfect. Trust me. Yes, thank you so much, Emma. What I will say is this. You know, I have given John John what I think is fair criticism in the past. When he was Minister of Health, I didn't really think that was a good fit for him. And I'll say it even now. It just wasn't a good fit for him. But the people of Bordentown, Mercy East, have decided to keep John, and that is who they wish to have as their representative. I do not vote in that district. And this is a democratic system. So if the majority of people want John, the majority of people shall get John. One observation that I have made about John is that the man shows up. Now, there's something to be said for showing up, y'all, and I tell you this all the time. He might not be the degree holding, sharpest in the drawer kind of person, but lo and behold, since I now have more access to government this time around, everywhere I go, every function I go, he's a parliamentary secretary for more than one ministry, and the man is always there. I'm like, you again? Because he shows up. He represents. There is something to be said for a person that shows up to work. Because how else are you going to learn to be a good worker and do what you must do if you do not even show up to work? Seriously. And he does that. And I suspect he tries his best. Now, I'm not trying to get into the man's business, but I'm going to put this out there. You know what? I'm not getting in the man's business. That's not any of y'all business. Let's just say that there are different reasons why people might suffer from something like narcolism? Is that the word? Oh God, let me not get it mixed up, because some of these words are very narcolepsy. You know what other word I was about to say? That's kind of close. That begins with an N. Let's not even say it, honey child. Because now my brain is like, which one is it again? Which one did I just say? Now my brain wants to say the other one. This is how funny the brain is. It's hold on. Let me get it right. Narcolepsy is the one that I want to say. So maybe he has a little sleep disorder that might be brought on by other things, including sometimes just hard work. Now, some MPs are of the opinion that they all need a driver. I don't think that they all need a driver. I think that they just need to know when it's time to call it quits and when you've had a long day, and that they need to be getting sufficient sleep. So it is what it is. So Hats Heaven Grand Cayman, what kind of name is that? Says you never liked him because he was a PPM member. Now he switched to join the PAC government, so you have a reason to defend him. Actually, that is not true at all. It had nothing to do with me liking, and this is where y'all need to pay attention now. My comments about John have never been about John at a personal level. It's about John's behavior. And when, like any other MP, his behavior needs to be called out, his behavior should be called out. So I did not appreciate his behavior during COVID. I didn't appreciate the response that he gave when his wife was allegedly found to be doing what she did. I didn't appreciate how he responded to Wendy Ledger and how he responded to the media and how he called the media. What was the word? Did he say that you must be stupid to say that or something like that? Some comment? It has nothing to do with John, the individual, and me liking him or don't like him. I don't even know the man to form an opinion of whether I like him or don't like him. But I can talk about him in a position as MP. And that is exactly, and minister, that's exactly what I was doing. I know it's difficult for you guys to understand. And maybe it's a certain kind of person that can compartmentalize individuals in such a way. I'll give you another example. Ralston. I actually like Ralston as a person. As an MP, not so much so. How many DUIs has Ralston had? So if I sit here and talk about those things that he has done, You assume I don't like him. It has nothing to do. Ralston is a very charming young man. I can see why some of these girls be trying to fall all over him, chunny chow. You touch him and he'll get you pregnant if you're not careful. And, you know, he looks at you hard and you're having baby number 2. He's going to be like Nick Cannon. I'm just kidding, Ralston. But y'all know what I mean. It has nothing to do with me liking a person or not liking a person. Take our premiere, for example. Do y'all know how hard I have ridden the premiere? Let me rephrase that. On his political issues and his stance when he was with the PPM. And it had something to do with, and let me be very, very clear, because this premiere has supported positive things that the Progressive has done in the past that I was a part of, so I would know I was there. And when he became a minister the last time, I was like, ooh, some of their bad elements is rubbing off on you. And I didn't like it. I remember this epic email. Y'all don't know this, but I sent this man, the premier now, the Honorable Wayne Panton, one scathing email when he was in last time. Chad had to go into my email archives and look that up. But I put him to the fire. I don't even think he responded to me. That's how hard it was. He was like, oh, this woman has lost her mind. Let's just leave that alone. So Carlos says narcolepsy is correct, sleeps at random moments. And sometimes a person is actually taking medication. Like I said, I'm not trying to get into people's business. But sometimes people are actually taking medication that they have to take that will cause them to have moments of narcolepsy or drowsiness. And of course, that's the type of impairment, and this is why you have to be particularly careful. And I feel like if you know that, you really need to do your best to probably get someone to drive for you if you need to do that. Shal Cameron says, when Sandy starts flinging those hands and drop 2 cuss words, y'all know game is over. We won't be doing that this morning, Cameron. So, Hats Heaven says, we all know that John was drunk from happy hour every Friday. Well, I don't know that. Are you hanging out at the same places that he's hanging out so you can testify to that? Because I don't know anything about the man's drinking habits whatsoever. But I'm also a person who doesn't go to happy hours. So maybe you're the person who's standing next to him and you would actually know that to be the case. If it is, I mean, I do have to wonder again, why y'all be hiding behind these fake accounts? Hats Heaven. You got all those friends. It's just like, oh my God. Y'all are just so amazingly funny. But the police have said what they have said, that there was no reason. So I suggest, you move on. Sandy, when he was on the other side, everyone was knocking him, including you, when he was leading his prayers. It just seems one-sided. Well, I don't want him to lead prayers even now, Miss Darlene. I don't believe in the mixing of church and state. I'm always very uncomfortable outside of very limited situations when people start to mix church and state, and for good reason. So do I believe that every single, again, it goes to a question of one's competency. The things that I wanted to hear from him at the time as health minister was not speaking in foreign languages or attempting to speak in foreign languages and praying. I expected to hear what the hell was happening as we were in the middle of a pandemic. That is what I wanted to hear. I don't need your prayers. Pray, go to church. Meet with your church groups. Do your prayers later on. That's not what I want from you as a minister. It's not that kind of minister. You're getting your ministries confused. So if he started praying again, Darlene, even now as a member of the PAC, I would say to the PAC government, please make the man stop. We had a prayer every single conference. We had a prayer that started from a proper minister. Why did we need John to be quoting the Bible and praying on top of that? This isn't a church service. If I wanted to hear a church service, I would have gone to church. No offense. whatsoever. I gotta tell y'all a joke about church. So the other day, one of the listeners to the program said to me, Sandy, you were brought up in church last Sunday. And I said, oh, Lord, what did I do now? They're praying some hell and damnation on you. Fire and Sandy. I said, what happened? They said, no. We had a visiting lady at their church, and she said something about like comparing, she's from the US, and she was comparing like media, and she's like, where do you guys get your information from in this country? And everybody yelled out in church, Cayman Mall Road! Hallelujah! Praise the Lord for Cayman Mall Road. I had a good little laugh when she shared that. So to be very, very clear, Darlene, he has stopped those behaviors while he's not minister and they're not having these daily press conferences. But I can assure you, if he was doing it now, I would be like, please make him stop with these ridiculous parables about the donkey that no one ever figured out. It's like, who was the donkey in this story? Was it him, the wife, or the man lifting up the wife's legs? You know what I'm saying? So I know in your minds you're thinking that this is an issue of PAC versus PPM. I have made it abundantly clear that I am a PAC supporter. I'm giving this government a chance. And yet that has nothing to do with me holding them accountable. How many times must I do that? I can give you countless examples. In fact, so much so, where's the Minister for Tourism and Transport? He gets a little bit salty sometimes, Kenneth. I notice you. And he goes over to Rejma, where she has two people watching, one staff member and one other person, watching her live stream when he gets upset with me. He doesn't want to come on my show when he's upset with me. That's all right. That ain't no problem, because I'm still going to hold you accountable, and y'all know how it is. And I know he's felt a way about the whole Miss Cayman thing. I guess he's only human after all. And I have called for real action in this Miss Cayman thing and still have seen zero action that I could say that I'm satisfied with. Do I hold the minister accountable? Yes. Do I hold this PAC government accountable? Yes. Tell me something. Why is it that the chairman of the National Housing Trust has now been charged, and yet I have heard nothing from this government about his resignation? Since y'all want to talk politics, we might as well make it a Politics Friday. We've called it out before, and I'm going to say it again loud and clear, so y'all can go and run to the PAC members right now and tell them, Sandy's talking about y'all. Why don't we have his resignation in hand? He should have resigned. This is Jeffrey, what his name is, Ebanks? He should have resigned from the minute he was arrested. He's been arrested, months gone by, now charged with multiple offense, and yet, Mr. J. Ebanks, when are we going to get this man's resignation? You should have demanded, as minister responsible for the National Housing Trust, and as the person who appointed him as the chairman, we needed to hear about his resignation letter a long time ago. That, folks, is accountability. I don't care who he is. I don't care who his mama is, who his daddy is, who he's friends with. It does not matter to me. Everybody said, oh, this Jeffrey guy is a nice guy. Oh, his parents would be so ashamed. They're not going to give him right with this. They raised him better. I'm sure they did, but the man's a big man. He's like, what, 45 years old? His parents can't control him. He can do what he can do. But this government, a member of whom is Mr. J. Ebanks, Minister J, appointed him to chairman, and we needed to hear about his resignation or his removal. If he refuses to resign, simply take him out, remove him. It's simple. And appoint somebody else. It doesn't take a long time to action these sorts of things. And when you sit on it, it's the equivalent of the same thing with Miss Cayman. When you sit on it, people begin to wonder, why? Why hasn't this been done as yet? You understand? Cameron says we don't need to tell them nothing. They're watching. Well, I'll be waiting. Carlos says he wants to be an investment fund manager or a mortgage broker. Well, Carlos, they say that the Sky is the limit. And I would say for you to, if that's what you want to do, Carlos, focus your energies on that and get it done. Nothing is going to stop you but you. However, I'm going to give you a little bit of a reality check now. Huh? There will be things that you might have done in your past that will continue to impact your future. And that's one of the realities in life. And it's one of the reasons, quite frankly, that all of us, as we sort of traverse through life, we're going to make our mistakes, and you are more than entitled to your mistakes, but you have to understand that in the real world, not everyone is as forgiving as that. Not everyone is going to be able to look past all of your mistakes. You've lived in the US, and I would have thought that while you were there, the educational opportunities would have presented themselves, quite frankly, to you, so that you could have, gotten it over there. But if you haven't, honey child. So Ezio here with the fake account says, so why are you hell-bent on my burner account but fine with others and Flashpoint on YouTube? Promise I'm not evading a ban. I'll tell you what it is, Ezio. I have noticed that certain people create certain accounts just to create a certain type of trouble on this platform. Flashpoint has been on here and comments all the time and participates in a perfectly acceptable manner. You, Johnny Come Lately, has just pulled out of the woodworks today and has a million things to say. Why haven't we ever seen you on this platform before is the question. I'm just wondering. See, these are very logical questions that probably need an answer. Cameron, no, it's not a falling out. You see, this is where y'all get it wrong. Cameron says you fall out with Kenny too. This is not a falling out. This is, here's your role as minister. And I have expectations of that. Jay, here's your role as minister. And I have expectations of that. And MP. Mm-hmm. You're an acquaintance. You're a friend. Those are two separate things. And people who know me will have to understand the necessity to separate the two. You don't take it personal. Now, let's be clear about how this works. If you are a dishonest person, let's say you're a liar as an MP. I'm not calling any of these guys liar, I'm just saying. Example, number one. If you are a dishonest MP, that means that as a person, you are dishonest. So there's no separating certain character traits from the person. Behavior, I can separate behavior. But sometimes behavior speaks to your character and who you are. Okay. So, I've talked about certain MPs who are borderline narcissistic. They don't even seem to like people half the time. So their behavior, they don't show up to work, they don't show up to parliament, that's behavior. And we're going to talk about that behavior. After a while, just like that quote says, your acts become your habits. Right? And your habits, eventually, that's who you are. So words become actions. And then actions become, how does the quote go again? Hold on, let me pull it up. So it starts with your thoughts first, huh? Your thoughts, it says, watch your thoughts for they become words. Watch your words for they become actions. Watch your actions because they become habits. Watch your habits because they become character. Watch your character for it becomes your destiny. So when we get all the way down to something becoming part of your character is to be dishonest. Your character is to be narcissistic. Then those are the people that I really don't care for. But there's a difference. And we don't get there just by one singular act. We get there repeated behavior and me sitting back watching your observations, right? So there's some MPs from West Bay. We shall call no names because it turns out there's more than one of them. What a hot mess West Bay is in. Feel sorry for y'all. That their character, I have no problems calling out because of repeated actions. And I don't care for it. I don't care for the lying, the deception, the laziness. That is your character, honey child. You don't want to do nothing. Your incompetence has now become your character. Your abusive ways has become your character. Now we can say that I don't like their character. Doesn't matter if I like them. I'm not here to make any friends. I'm keep telling y'all, I got a basket full of friends already and I don't need any more. Oh God, Ali, I don't mind me about the moon joke. You gotta admit though that sometimes John says stuff that is just, I'm just like, what the hell? Maybe it was the pressure of being in front of people every single day and feeling like you needed to say something. I don't know. Because that moon thing, oh, I still have the clip for that. That used to crack me up. I was like, what the hell is this man talking about the moon? Comedic relief, honey child. Ms. Sue says, when is the government going to start building affordable homes? They promised to do that for Cayman families to buy. Well, I don't know when the one in Northside breaks ground. But again, oh, Carlos, you had to come out with a crazy name. I knew you couldn't. You can't help yourself. Carlos, you can't help yourself if you were the only person on the planet with this crazy idea of yours. What is wrong with you? Take your medication, bro. I want to know when they're going to break ground. Now, listen, we have invited the civil servants who work with the National Housing Trust on the show on more than one occasion. I'd like to now call them out because months ago, let me pick up my phone and tell you how long ago that was. We invited them in the program, and all now they can't make time. All right, so invites back in August. Let me go back. August 25th. Said probably week after next, and I said let's set the date. Never got a response, and I know we requested it before. We go back to March. So the people need to know what y'all are doing in terms of affordable housing. So once again, if you are a member of the PAC government and you're listening to the program this morning, can we please arrange for certain people? Ms. Sue has a very valid question here. We need an update to find out what is going on with the national housing. Who is this calling me on the, is this person trying to be part of the show? Well, let's answer the call. It's the wrong number, but let's see. What's up with access to your microphone? Yes. Good morning, caller. You're live on air. Are you trying to be part of the show? Yes, sir. Yes. Would you like to be on air because you're live on air right now? Yes. Hello. Yes. Okay. Well, I can hear you, and you're. If I can hear you clear, I can hear you clear. You got a little bit of clipping going on, but. Is Pirates that my love? That's like $1 million. That is like $1 million question. Is Pirates Week still going on? As far as I know, it is. Unfortunately, I think so. I think like you, I probably haven't heard a whole lot about it either. No advertisement or promotions. Lord have mercy. Let me I can only tell you that as far as I know, it is happening. Can anybody else let me put the question to the listeners out there. and see if anybody else can tell us. All right, my dear, no problem. All right, I don't know if the that one came through my other phone, so I'm not sure if you guys could hear that one on radio. I'm not sure, because that came through my sort of private line. It's not private because everybody has a number, but my primary phone. So that one isn't connected to the board. But because I'm on the computer, I actually answered him through the computer. So you might have heard it. I'm not sure. Did y'all hear that? But anyway, oh Lord, y'all asking about these MPs this morning. That's another one that should have never gotten the job. Anyway, I don't really know what's going on with Pirates Week. Somebody just sent me to the caller's point. I have pointed out to someone else who works in the Ministry of Culture that they've done a really piss poor job advertising it and telling us what's going on. I agree with that 1,000%, and I've actually expressed those concerns to others. Are they listening? All right, let's move on. Carlos, we can't with you this morning. Seriously. Denver says it's only business. You better believe it. Denver, that was Cameron, sorry. Denver says there's the unwanted story behind Jeff's incident. Who is Jeff? Unwanted story? Who's Jeff? Carlos says, Sandra, I can say that I suffered from auditory hallucinations for years, but the shot I get twice a month helps me to focus. And I have been clean from ganja for 7 years. Well, that's good. You sound like you're on your way, honey child, but you got a long ways to still go. So keep it up, child. You got to make sure you stay with therapy. You see a professional. You can't self-medicate. So Elaine's Closet says actually today is East End's Heritage Day. You see, nobody ever knew that. All right, so y'all got to East End. Thank you, Miss Juanita and Miss Elaine. Gabby confirms. Yeah, Cameron, I need to figure out when that caller called in, because he called the other phone, like I said, but that's coming through the PC. Oh, Lord, I got to do some offline testing to actually see how he could have been heard. Because that's another one of these little things on the board. Anyway, I got to make a mental note to look into that. Good morning, Miss Lucille. Miss Lucille says, a very good morning, Sandy. If he was dead, what they would be talking about this morning, as you would hear, poor John, he do not have to be drinking for things can happen. We need to pray for each other and stop your tearing down each other. That's why I keep my mouth shut. Sometimes, Sandy, I leave you to take care. God bless my home and my people at home. I love you all in the Cayman Islands. Listen, if it was a DUI. Oh, you guys couldn't hear it on Facebook either? If it was a case of DUI, I would be the first on the bandwagon. So that's interesting because he called me on my phone. All right, I need to play around with that. That one's a different scenario because most people are not calling me on that phone. But there should be a way, despite the fact that they're not calling me on that phone, since it's coming through the computer, there should still be a way. It's like those young people this morning when they said they love to solve a problem as part of the robotics. When I don't know if I love to solve a problem, but I'm one of those people that when I have a problem, I have to, it's a compulsion to solve it. Like this now, this is going to bother me to no end until I figure out exactly what setting. Is it a setting in the board? Is it a setting on the it has to be something on the board, but I don't know if the physical board on the computer, like the brain wants to solve this. Can somebody else call me on WhatsApp on my regular phone? Anybody else up for it? Because I think I can figure it out. All right, so El Rey says Pirates Week is on now. Is it happening? Honey child, apparently. Y'all missed it. I mean, no, it's going on for like 3 months or something weird. I don't know whose brilliant idea that was, but yeah, that ain't working. 3 months is too long for a celebration. It's just too much. Whose idea was that? I have no idea. Was that the ministers? Who thought of this 3 month celebration? Y'all barely got the budget for 1 week, much less 3 months. Gabby says, I believe the landing and parade is next weekend. We don't even know because they're not telling us anything. They're over there spending $100,000 with the Compass, and we still don't know what's going on. Oh my God. Can I just be salty and shady all at once? So yesterday, I told you guys about this FY last week that I put in for government to show where they're spending their marketing budget, right? I remember during the pandemic, there was a press conference where April Cummings said, she asked this question of Alden, and give Alden props for this response because the man was spot on that day. Let me see if I can find this article for y'all because y'all need to. So the question was from April, and I don't know, I found it peculiar because April works for Radio Cayman. So I'm like, why does April care what the Compass is doing in terms of their survivor level, right? So this was June the 22nd. This is a very good story, actually. I gotta play it. Do I have, oh, I didn't clip the video? Oh, darn. I thought oh, it's just an article. Child, I should have clipped that video. I might have to go back and find this video. Here's the article. And it's entitled, Premier Not Prepared, Premier, too many P's in this one. Premier Not Prepared to Fund Local Media, calls on them to be more innovative to survive. So April asked the question. This is a Friday press briefing on June the 19th of 2020. Wow, that's over 2 years ago? Man, time flies. So anyway, April Cummings from Radio Cayman inquired about the impact of mandatory job registration on news media that have relied on their adverts, which represented, she said, a significant amount of funds over the years to keep the journalist enterprise going. She shared that the very survival of local media might be at risk and stressed the importance of media in keeping us all accountable in a community this small. Very good. And I love April. She's so smart and on it. But this question I found really peculiar because basically she said to the premier at the time, Sir Alden McLaughlin, are you prepared to bail out the Compass if they get in financial trouble? Child, you should have seen the look on Alden's face, honey child. He was like, let me show you this famous meme that people put up of Alden, which is so appropriate sometimes. I have it on my phone. He either look like, this is when Alden's about to have a honey child moment. Are you crazy, honey child? Alden's like, what? No. He's like, what are you asking me this question for? Alden said, media must be innovative. They have to find their own way. We're not here to support and save the media. And I thought it was interesting at the time. I thought, that's interesting because they didn't save Cayman 27. And in all fairness, say what you want, but they put themselves in that predicament. This wasn't about the government trying to bail out a situation. This was about a TV station that had not been profitable for years, that then had to go and get a loan from the DART organization because nobody else was going to finance them. No bank would have touched that situation because they would say, show me your financials. And when you see that you're in the hole and you're not taking no money, you're making no money, the bank would have been like, no. You're over bloated. You have too much staff, too much old antiquated equipment, and you're still only pulling in 25 viewers every night for your nightly news. So no, we're not gonna fund that. We can't get no money for that. Dart, on the other hand, he's a businessman. He's like, I'll give you a loan. You know, you got to pay it back. You got to pay your interest. But being the businessman that he is, okay. So if I give you a loan, then you got to move in to Cayman Bay. That's why Cayman 27 was there. But they weren't thinking too hard about it. Because the rent at Cayman Bay not cheap, y'all. So now you got tied into this lease. And you're paying all this money, and plus you got a loan that you got to pay back. No wonder they had to shut it down. Plus you got your government fees, which you hadn't paid for 4 years. So none of it really made any business sense. It didn't add up. And even in the world of media, the question that April asked is a good question, because at some point it becomes about the dollars and the cents. Media around the world has disappeared because they were not able to adjust with the times. They were not able to stay, lean, mean, fighting machine. And if you can't do that, you've got 50 staff members, over bloated, people making shows that nobody's watching, so you can't get sponsors for the show. All these things matter. So y'all remember over 5 years ago when I started this platform, you heard me say that CMR is a passion, not a paycheck. Yeah, remember that? Cameron says Alden is seasoned like fried fish. It's because I was in a position for it to be my passion. And that's why I started Cayman Mall Road, and it continues to be a passion. However, I have now been able to turn the passion into a little bit of a paycheck because we have bills to pay. I actually have people employed. Kevin is overseas. Renee is overseas. Misha isn't doing anything right now, but I want her to come back on board to do some stuff. I got a whole lot of stuff for Misha to do if she's free. We got servers to pay for. We got equipment, boards and stuff that cost money. So at some point you got to start seeing the business side of things. Now listen to Alden's question. This is why I'm going back to this. Alden's response. He said, any media that is reliant on government to survive is really not independent media. OMG. I love it, because I'm going to give y'all a little nugget here this morning. Tell your friends now. Sandy's going to bring it home, because we're going to have some truth telling this morning. He said any media that is reliant on government is not independent media. Well, what did you just say, Sir Alden? Because it seems to me, I'm going to show y'all something that this FY has revealed. When I get all the numbers together, I'm going to do a story, because thus far, what I have recognized is the Compass is heavily reliant on the government to pay their bills and survive. Y'all think I'm lying? Let me show you. Here is the proof in the pudding. This is one entity that spent over $217,000 last year, year to date last year, on advertising. $145.54 to be exact. Of that, let me pull up my little calculator, y'all. About 50% was spent with the Compass alone. That's $107,762 was spent with the Compass. This is one entity within government. And I can tell you, time and time again, because they're all trickling in from the different entities, the different, everybody has to send it in. So it's like it's Port Authority, it's FEMA, it's this one. Everybody does their own marketing thing. There's no central hub for marketing within government. The Compass gets the lion's share of government advertising revenue. Listen to what I just told you. That is one example where it's a lot. And that's the highest that I've seen so far of all the entities that have come in. Over $100,000. And year to date, for this year, it's gone up. It's even more than that. They spent even more money with Compass Media. Alden said any media that is reliant on government to survive is really not independent media. Say it again for the people in the back of the classroom, Sandy. Say it again. Lord have mercy. Y'all see it? Do I need to really say any more? And yet, the question of their very survivability, when you go into the store every single week and you see a newspaper that's now half a paper than what it used to be before, going for $1, and the vast majority of the content in the paper is nothing but ads, and the vast majority of those are from government, you do have to question if government gets value for money. Nobody not reading it. You're not subscribing to it online. So they are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. I need to pull a little Excel spreadsheet together and add it all up once I get all of the responses, but they're still coming in. Probably easily $500,000 or more on a media house, and that keeps them afloat. And the messages you all don't even see. Where on earth have they been advertising about Pirates Week? Natasha has a good question. She's like, is it still called Pirates Week if it's now 3 months? She says a week is 3 days, not 90 days. They may have changed the name, honey child, but we don't even know. Because they do one little press conference, and I don't know who told them that this press conference business was how you do it, how you reach the people, because y'all are clueless about marketing. They do one little press conference about it, and then they think everybody must have watched the press conference. Clearly, the caller just called me. Is it still going on? I don't know. They're not doing an effective job. They're dinosaurs in government when it comes to marketing. Y'all don't know what's going on. Now, some of them, to be fair to the civil service, some of them are getting with the program a little bit more. And I thank you for living in 2022 instead of 1973. That's what you call throwing shade, y'all. I just threw entire shade all over government. These people in charge of marketing, and they don't have a damn clue. It's like, where did you get your marketing degree from? I'm just curious which school that would have been. No practicality involved in that, none at all. Anyway. Yesterday, I was invited, and I think the team, which ministry is this again? Oh, sometimes their names, they got so many ministries, honey child. This is the ministry of, hold on now. The ministry of, anyway, I'll get the name in a second. But yesterday I got invited to this presentation that they did with the media, where we were able to see firsthand what, because they're launching it now, it should be gazetted possibly today. But now we will see the launch of a national ID system. It's been long in the works, and people have been talking about it forever, and finally it is going to happen. Isn't that amazing and wonderful? So I got to go to this. They had a little meeting there. Let me tell you what. Oh, this is the Ministry of MIISD, which is Ministry of Investment, Innovation, and Social Development. whose ministry is this? This is Andre Ebanks, I believe, Minister Ebanks. So anyway, they brought us in to see the ID card and to have a little miniature presentation. And, you know, sometimes you don't always get to go to these things, but I was really happy that I went yesterday because it was interesting to see their presentation and to ask a few questions. And of course, it got me to thinking about a lot of different things. And I'm hoping that they will come on the program and really explain to you guys a bit more about this national ID because it is interesting. So the idea is that everyone in this country at some point now will get this national ID. And that national ID is going to be tied into all sorts of different things. And the concept, the idea is good. Now the practicalities of it, well, we'll start to see how it's going to be rolled out. And I'm all on board. I want ID number 1. Shoot, I want to hurry up and sign up for my ID. So hopefully they can come on the program and, you know, we can get signed up and see exactly how it works. So Cameron says April is a good lady. Yes, but you can't go with Alden. You can't go to Alden with any piam question. piam. No, I love April, but yeah, I don't really know why she was asking the question, as though she's really that worried about. Listen, I agree with him when he said, this is what Alden said. He said, McLaughlin indicated that he, and this was a quote, hoped that it wasn't principally advertisements for jobs, because that's why she was asking it, you see, because you can now do the portal and not jobs. He said he hoped that it was not principally advertisement for jobs that kept media houses going. But April knows, in fact, that it is. If you go look at the Compass newspaper, the majority of their paper, they only print once a week now, so it used to be, you know, it's a Friday paper. The majority of that paper is indeed the job adverts. They have some other display ads too. But the job adverts, in fact, probably does keep them really afloat. So Alden was saying, I mean, he doesn't know anything about media, but he was saying that he hopes that that wasn't where they're getting their money from. Because who knows, they may be in trouble. He also acknowledged that the changing face of media is nothing unique to the Cayman Islands. And he talked about, or he noted, he didn't go into any great detail, but he noted that the demise of print media was a worldwide phenomenon. And this is very, very true. And if you're in the print media business and you've not been paying attention, then all I can tell you is you've lost the plot a long time ago. Everybody has had to innovate. Anybody who's still printing a newspaper is wasting paper and killing trees unnecessarily. Do we need any more evidence than this? This could be any day of the week. Nobody not picking up the paper. The stash on the bottom does not even have the plastic removed. And this is at every location that you go to and you see a paper. None of you, I want 10 of you to raise your hands if you're purchasing a newspaper, a printed paper weekly. Same thing with Caymanian Times. It was free and nobody was picking it up. People get it. Somebody jokingly said to me yesterday, well, they actually weren't joking because they said that they get the Compass papers for the dogs at the Humane Society. So that's the purpose. I'm thinking, literally it's being used for dogs. What? Okay. And then Cummings mentioned the loss of the only television station. And Alden, who was on point that day with this, said that the demise of Cayman 27 was a direct result of non-payment of government fees for years. And he was quoted, Cayman 27 survived for years because they didn't pay the regulatory fees that they were required to pay. Let's not forget what happened after the disappearance of Cayman 27. The same Alden McLaughlin, this is where I talk about the duplicitousness sometimes of what happens, right? And the duplicitousness of the general public So when y'all talking about, Sandy and CMR is the voice of the people, voice of the PAC government, y'all need to stop the foolishness, because not only is it not true, but when the Compass and CIGTV entered into some sort of collaboration, so the Compass and government made this big announcement after Cayman 27 was shut down that they were doing this collaboration. And when Cayman News Service questioned the independence of this arrangement, how can government get in bed with the Compass? None of y'all had nothing to say about it. Isn't it ironic? Where's Fidel? Fidel Castro, you still here? Is it Fidel Castro or Fidel Christian? Oh, I think he might be a Christian, but anyway, almost the same difference, honey, chill. You see how y'all are? When the big boys got into a formal arrangement, y'all never saw what it was. You don't know if money was you don't know what was going on with it. That they making all the money from government. Y'all wasn't saying, oh, well, the Compass is in the back. The Compass is the Compass is in with the progressives. They're in with the PPM. No. But y'all in your saltiness be trying to come for me. That's why I'm like a habit child. I got sprinkled salt all over your behind when I'm ready. Don't come for me when you don't have your facts straight. This was a formal arrangement. The Compass and the government went there and they did it. And this is after the Compass was out there firing the little Caymanian street vendors. Letting Caymanians go, like Miss Karen, oh Lord, what her name is again? Who had been there for 35, 40 years. Y'all wasn't saying nothing about that when it happened. Right? Couldn't even give her the courtesy of a decent separation. Just firing people. So Miss Karine, I think is how she pronounced it, Miss Karine Ryan. Yes. When the Caymanians were getting shopped over at the Compass, y'all wasn't saying nothing about it. It's just so incredibly interesting. That's why I don't pay y'all no mind. One lady, she's been on the show before. She works for a government agency, so I'm not going to call her name. She's from, sorry. I think she's from the UK. Anyway, I saw her recently. She said, oh, Miss Sandy, I really love your program. And with her best English accent. But how do you deal with some of the criticism? I said, honey, chill. Let me tell you how I deal with it. I said, I'm like a duck. I just let it wash right over me and I don't pay them no mind. The people will have their opinion and they're most certainly entitled to their opinion, but their opinion I don't allow to bother me in any way, shape, or form. I don't take it on board. She's like, wow, that's amazing. I'm like, is it really? Because I often can sit back and objectively, again, separate myself from the equation as a part of this whole media situation. And I see what's actually really happening. The Compass has had an egregious history under the previous owner in particular of insulting Caymanians. Do you all forget when it got so bad about 5 years ago that this same Alden was forced to pull advertising from the government? Everybody in the Legislative Assembly at the time voted unanimously to stop advertising with the Compass because on a regular basis, their editorials were so anti-Caymanian, they even had to change their name from the Caymanian Compass. Y'all take that. What a friggin' insult. And y'all fools still talking foolishness about, oh, are you going to help them survive? Let's spend all government money advertising with them. What a hot mess for real. I'm like, really? And after he pulled the money, they were really hurting. I can only imagine that, what a little short man name is again, that used to own the Compass. What the hell his name is again? He looks like a little, leggy. I can only imagine he went begging Alden. Probably took him out to some expensive dinner at God knows where. up in the Ritz and feeding him steak. He probably even patted him on the head. Oh, Alden, let's work this out, darling. We can't allow this to happen. There's people here who need their jobs, and we need that government money. Come along now. Let's bury the hatchet, shall we? Because the next thing we know, the advertising silently returned. There was no unanimous vote in the Legislative Assembly to undo it. Alden simply issued a directive to restart it. Didn't say a word, didn't even have the courtesy to say to the people, oh, we have after 6 months or whatever it was, couple months. Oh, is he American? My apologies, John, because I can definitely do an American accent better than I can a British accent, that's for sure. Oh, thank you, John. I appreciate it. John Lewis, he's not British, he's American. Oh, very good. Alden, darling. No, that would still be a bit British. Alden, please, we need to discuss having, we need to discuss putting this back in place. Will you come to dinner with me and my lovely wife, and we can smooth this over. I'm quite sure of that. He silently did it. You, the people, are not that stupid now. I know y'all know that it happened. None of you said a word. You didn't say nothing about it. You didn't make a, what's going on here? Okay, I'm just telling y'all the facts. These are facts. All of this is verifiable. What a hot mess. Poor Miss Carrion and others. There was another writer that they had over there for like 45 years, Caymanian lady. What was her name again? They got rid of her as well. Remember when they did the mass layoffs? And then all the street vendors who were Caymanians, they cut them off. And we did a whole story on that. Like, hold on a second now. They cut off the street vendors. They didn't give them any notice. As a result of CMR back in January of 2020, bringing out this story a week later, the Compass felt the pressure in the community because y'all finally spoke up, some of you. And then they go back to the street vendors. Okay, we'll bring you back. Well, that didn't last very long. The street vendors are still gone. But you understand my point? Anyway, we're here for you no matter what. We ain't getting no hundreds of thousands of dollars from nobody. And we are still here for you doing the best that we can do. Cameron says, say or call me whatever. I'm nothing to no one. Thank you, Magdalene, for reminding me of the name. Aliana says printed media is dead. They only do it with some form of insurance of some sort. Huh? They only do it with some form of insurance of some sort compensation. Huh? Aliana, revisit that because you have me confused, honey child. I don't know what the heck you're going on about. So John says, why pinpoint the media? Can't you say the same about KX and our beloved hemorrhaging Turtle Farm? Picking up the phone and call Jimmy Bergstrom and ask him what's going on. Well, I'm talking about the media because of this FOI that has been submitted. And I was really shocked yesterday when I saw that one entity alone spent over $100,000 last year with Compass Media. And so the truth of what Alden was saying now has even more meaning to me when he says any media that is reliant on government to survive is not really independent, is really not independent media. Listen carefully. That is a very, very interesting comment. Perla says, I think it's printed every 2 weeks. Oh, is it not weekly anymore? I thought it was weekly. I mean, like I said, I can't admit having purchased a Compass in years, even before COVID. Oh my God, Perla says, whenever you say honey child, the system types something else and it's a little funny how it shows up. What does it type? This is the CCC, what is it, closed caption on Facebook. That's funny. Someone else says, Sandy's in her element now. We're loving it. I'm going to need to tune in more often on a Friday. Happy Friday. Cameron is so funny. She says, "Rah, Sandy gonna put it on spreadsheets." Imagine that, me in a spreadsheet. Robert has his opinion about the compass. The paper thing is environmentally hazardous to society, says Perla. They need to stop printing. People are not buying it, and the list goes on. What's mandatory? The registration, the job registration? Well, it is mandatory for people to do that, to register online. Oh, yes, Magdalene says Kevin Morales is now producing the Cayman Bay newspaper. I saw a release on that this week. I saw that yesterday. I think somebody in our CMR group sent that to me as well. And I must admit, I was a little bit confused because Kevin Morales has his own PR company. He formed some company called, oh God, I can't remember the name of it now, something. But you know, he has residency, Henry Chell. So of course now he can set up his own business. So he has set something up. So I don't know I don't know much about Cayman Bay Times. I have to be honest. I don't even know how often it's printed, because it's printed as well. Is it once a month? Is it weekly? I have no clue about the Cayman Bay Times. But I did see, in fact, that he was editor of that, which is interesting. Interesting indeed. What a hot mess. Cameron says, just love when Sandy drops that high-pitched, condescending voice. Me condescending? Say it ain't so. Honey, Jill. Was it the governor? Because Real Deal says yes, and the governor made Alden rescind that decision. Remember, Alden, the governor, and Leggett had a meeting. Oh, I don't remember them having a meeting because, like I said, I'm sure a meeting took place. Not much I'm sure of. But who would have been governor then? That would have been, who did we have before? Was that the female governor? Who was governor at the time? I can't even remember. I don't remember Alden ever talking about it. So you see, this is where now as an MP or even the premier, if a meeting happened, you tell the people, hey, we had a meeting and the governor told me I had to continue advertising the Compass because they're the ones really running the show. I would have just said that. Let the people know. But I don't remember. Jewel Levy, thank you, Magdalene. Miss Carol Winker died. Bless her heart. It was Jewel Levy who was there at the Compass for like 40 years or something. And you know what is so crazy? Is when they let go Caymanians who have been there for 35, 40 years, given their entire lives to the Compass, their entire professional lives. And then the Compass could, we're cutting fat, right? Which I can understand because they had like 50, 60, 100 people working for them. But I don't understand how you cut it. Because you do that, but then you turn around and you purchase Cayman 20, you purchase, not Cayman 27, but what's the media company called? The radio stations. What they call Marin Media? Oh gosh, I can't remember what the heck. What was Randy's company called again? Oh God, help me out here today. Whatever the media, whatever his thing was. So you claim that you're hurting financially and you got to fire these long-serving Caymanians, but yet the new ownership could find the money to purchase 4 new radio stations? Hurley's Media, thank you, Live. Lord Jesus, the brain sometimes is a little bit like, Hurley's Media, right. So I'm like, how could you do that? Because you just said you ain't got no money and you're cutting staff. You only let the Caymanians go. Then you turn around and before he purchased Hurley's Media, he picked up staff from Cayman 27 who were largely not Caymanians. How the hell did that happen? You can keep people here in a work permit that are not Caymanians and allow them to remain here so eventually they can get residency? Like the likes of Kevin Morales, like the likes of Rejma. Who else did they pick up from Cayman 27? But yet, Miss Karen Ryan and Miss Jewel Levy, long-serving and dedicated Caymanian workers who are really good at their job, you're going to let go? Yes, I'm offended by that. Call me crazy, but I'm offended by that. Give the Caymanians the opportunity to continue working and supporting their families. Y'all are getting me started here today. Miss Magdalene says his wife works for DART. Oh, does he? Does she? I don't know who his wife is. I don't really know anything about Kevin. And listen, again, don't y'all think that I am trying to be, don't take it personal. Oh, she don't like Kevin Morales. I don't even know Kevin Morales. I don't know Rejma. So do not take it personal. But what I do know is the Caymanian people would have much rather, even during the COVID pandemic, all the questions that were sent and asked, they would have much rather heard a Caymanian asking those questions instead of all these other accents and whatever. Just call me crazy, but I'm just saying. I know my people. Yeah. And the Compass don't have a clue. Was it Dinwiddie? I don't know who it was at the time. No, man, Dinwiddie was a long time ago, I feel like. He was at least 2 or 3 governors ago. Marshall says the Compass cut the Caymanian fat and kept the expat gravy. Oh, Jesus. That is one way to put it. That's pretty funny. And I was just thinking, John, you must have read my mind. John says, I wish you'd get Woody on your show to discuss grocery prices. Romaine lettuce 3-pack is now $12.49. Woo! Who would pay that? Just curious as to how they fluctuate so drastically. You know, when you said Woody, I was actually thinking of the other Woody. And then when you went on to talk about, lettuce, then I was like, oh, that Woody. I was thinking about Woody from Rooster. Both name Woody. But I will invite Woody in the program because can I tell you something? That Woody is always willing to be on air. He's willing to tell you why their prices have increased and what they're paying for stuff now. So, John, thank you for the suggestion. I'm going to send it to Woody right now. He was the only grocery person. What do we call him? Grocery. I don't know what we call him. Grocery owner. That during the pandemic was willing to come on and talk about potential food shortages, Woody Foster, and all the other stuff. So I will invite him on because I know Woody will probably say yes. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, y'all need to understand the inflation with food in particular is impacting people all over the world. And I hate to tell you, but Cayman is no exception. Child, it's ridiculous. 40-year high. Did y'all see the one about the British? I think we posted this one last night. About the interest rates. Well, of course, the interest rates have gone up again. And the UK, here, this one. Hold on, give me a second. Let me pull this up on my main screen over here. So, it's a hot mess. I mean, the highest in like crazy pricing. We need someone who can tell us how to now shop on a budget, child. So groceries is one area in which it has gone up the highest, 11%. I think from like last year to this year, it's just crazy. Now, here's a story that just came out. USDA economists see food inflation cooling in 2023. Well, we sure hope so because trust me, I'm going to be losing those 50 pounds whether I want to or not. Because of the prices. Food prices still surging. This was just a couple of weeks ago. Wow. They're talking about the food index. Fruits and vegetables surged 1.6% for the month. Cereals and bakery goods rose 0.9%. Other grocery increase. This is in the U.S. I don't think anyone here does the price index like monthly, like how they do in the US, because they got lots of hands on deck over there. But we should do it. So they say a number of factors have contributed to the surge in prices. Producers say that they're paying more for labor and packaging materials. Extreme weather, including droughts and flooding, and disease, such as the deadly avian flu, have all been hurting crops and killing egg-laying hens, squeezing supplies. This is what they're saying in the US. The environment clearly is still very inflationary, with a lot of supply chain challenges across the industry. PepsiCo CEO Raymond LaGuarta said on an earnings call on Wednesday that the company's prices had increased 17% annually. Meanwhile, demand is high. Oh, I need some more water. Miss Stacy, I'm out of water and tea this morning, honey child. Things are getting a little bit warm up in here. That's the end of my water. Woo! So they say that consumers may be able to pull back on some discretionary items, but they have to eat. Yeah. Many people are still working from home and consuming more of their meals there than they did before the pandemic. And this imbalance between supply and demand means companies can pass along higher prices to shoppers without sales plunging. But higher prices at the grocery store are forcing consumers to make trade-offs. So many shoppers are buying fewer products, switching to cheaper private label brands, and pulling back on discretionary items. Even Walmart, honey child, seeing some inflation. But listen to this now. This, in the UK, it says the Bank of England rolled out its biggest interest rate increase in 3 decades. In 3 decades, it says here, and we posted this yesterday on CMR, saying that the move was needed to beat back stubbornly high inflation that is eroding living standards and is likely to trigger a prolonged recession. So the Bank of England raised the rates to 3% increase from 2.25%. So they did something similar to what the US did. That's 0.25%, right? The biggest increase since 1989. Where were y'all in 1989? Child, I was in high school in 1989. So I didn't know anything about inflation, food prices, or anything else. All I know is I showed up at home. Aunt Lottie had my little breakfast ready. I had lunch at school. And then she, fed me dinner. I didn't know anything about budget and money and whatever in 1989. Yeah. So this is the biggest increase since then, as it warned of a very challenging outlook for the economy. Forecasts from the bank predict that the UK will be enduring a 40-year high inflation, reaching 11% during the incumbent quarter. However, Britain has already entered a recession that may last up to 2 years, even longer than it endured during the 2008 and 2009 financial crises. The bank's interest hike is the biggest in 33 years. Put that in perspective. However, it affirmed the predictions of many economists, according to a Reuters poll. 33 years. My goodness, like I said, I was 16 years old at the time. I was focused on where am I going for university and, trying to get out of high school. But we will invite him on. Thanks, John. Appreciate the suggestion. Jonathan says check the other Woody too. I would like to hear what he got to say now that he wouldn't be censored by contract. Well, that Woody is busy. Apparently, he's really not that interested in doing this sort of thing anymore. Maybe in an interesting way, the new owners at Compass Media ended up doing him a favor. He probably just needed the break anyway. And now he seems to be taking it because he ain't into none of that stuff, child. He not making no comments. He not calling nobody talk show. He's not interested in coming on the talk show. He like, I don't business or what y'all doing. He's gone back to being a private citizen. So we have invited him on. I'm like, you got to open anytime you want to come on. Just let me know. But he's not interested. So there you have it, Jonathan. Jonathan says, I'm sure he could let off a good piece of his mind now. Ooh, honey child. 1989, running an eye insurance, scraping my knees, says Cameron. Aw. Miss Sue says, yes, the supermarket prices are crazy. And you know what? It is crazy even in the U.S. It has gone up. Like, I hear Caymanians going to Walmart, like, oh my God, Walmart not cheap no more. The last time I went, somebody asked me to buy them some deodorant because like, oh, the price in Cayman. And when I showed them the price in Walmart, they were like, huh? But it didn't used to be that price. I'm like, what part of this inflation thing do you guys not get? This isn't Cayman just increasing prices. It is worldwide, folks. Everybody. Walmart is the biggest retailer in the world. And they're feeling it. Miss Sue says, yes, I went through this in 1992 and it was bad then. I think most of us just don't remember it because, like I said, I was a 16-year-old kid. What did I know about inflation? All I know is I was still eating food and getting a belly full, and that was it. All right, here's some breaking news. We're going to play the news from Kevin here in a second, but you guys, the first to hear this, right here in CMR. I've not even sent it out to my WhatsApp group yet, so they don't get it once I find my phone. Second runner-up, Miss Haley Nicole Grizel from Miss Cayman Universe has been invited to represent the pageant on the Cayman Airways inaugural flight to Los Angeles, California tomorrow. How come nobody invited me on that flight? I would have gone to LA. So congratulations to the beautiful Haley Grizel. Beautiful young lady. So she's going on an inaugural flight. And you know, the first question I had to ask is, pump the brakes a minute. Why isn't Chloe, the first runner-up, going? Well, Caymanians, y'all know we'd get you the answer. Apparently, Chloe was refusing to get vaccinated. Poor her. But she changed her mind and has now started the process. Say what? How was she expecting to be able to travel? Even if you have to go and represent Cayman in Las Vegas, honey child, the United States of America still requires you to be vaccinated. Now, y'all know something wrong with these pageant girls. So we got the whole mess over here with the Miss Cayman crown holder. She can't do her work. She can't do nothing right now because of her ongoing legal troubles. And then on top of that, the first runner-up didn't think ahead of time, like, oh, I might actually have to wear this crown and go to that competition, represent Cayman overseas. So you don't get your affairs in order, which include being vaccinated, girl. Sometimes I wonder about these pageant girls, you know, they're kind of less than bright. Now you're going to run and go do it, but not in time to be able to go to LA this weekend. Listen to me. Nicole, you probably should be wearing that crown anyway, girl. Just take this moment, represent Cayman well, and shine in all of your beauty and intelligence, apparently, and common sense. Oh, I tell you, I can't even. Al Ray says, Kenneth, not in with you nowhere. No what? In with you nowhere. Maybe I could still get an invite. Mr. Minister, do you have media covering the event in LA, or did the Compass get that position? Oh my God, Cameron said, what you say? Started the protest. Yes, honey child, what a mess. Yeah, I don't know if media was invited to this or not. Who's going? I'd like to see the list. I've had some people asking me, funny enough, about government travel and expenditure that I need to look into that because I feel like some of these government ministers are traveling a little bit too much. I said, oh, Jesus. If they are, and I'm not saying they are yet because I haven't FOI'd it, my question would be, they can't learn or what? Hi. Maria says everyone should do intermittent fasting, 2 meals a day. It increases energy and makes you healthier. Well, apparently, my doctor has said that I should not fast at all, that I need to have 6 square meals a day because if you have issues with like pre-diabetes or sugar or whatever, you need to maintain your sugar levels at a very even keel throughout the day. And the only way to do that is to have 6 small meals, like constantly eating almost kind of thing. And so fasting is not ideal for those individuals. So always talk to your physicians first to make sure any diet recommendations or diet plan is ideal for you. Ms. Sue says, oh, there's going to be a big team of them going. Trust me. Well, I'm going to find out. I'm going to do some sleeping around. Cayman nosy is what I'm going to be, and I'm going to find out. All right. Alray says, I think the Compass Media will be invited. I hear Rejma getting first class seats, CMR fumes. Chat, please. I hope you know that if I really wanted to go, I could pay for first class seats myself, honey chow. That's okay. I don't need to go. I don't need to go. I even had forgotten about it. I didn't even remember that it was tomorrow. But you know, on weekends, I am a mother. And I take my weekend time very, very seriously. So I can try to spend some time with my child because that is oh so important. That's my number one job. Morning, beautiful caller. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, one second, call. 1 second. They're saying that they can't hear you again. What? Speak again. Let me see. I should be able to. Mm-hmm. Not hearing the caller. Huh. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on this morning. Just a second, caller. Let me check something else again. Something's a bit off with my audio this morning, but I can't quite figure it out. All right, say that again, caller. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My apologies, caller, because I don't know what is going on this morning with the audio, but okay. Uh-huh. Bluetooth. Mm-hmm. I appreciate it. So, yeah, that's weird. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on with audio this morning. I mean, everything looked okay. Like I see the levels moving on this end, but I don't know what's going on. Kevin Watler, are you around? Still can't hear. Still no audio. That is so bizarre. I don't legit know what's going on this morning. Maybe I need to restart everything because I'm definitely check the plugs, speakers, microphones. Somebody call me on the phone. Anybody? Somebody call me right now on the phone. Call me. Link up. Oh, let's play a little call me music to encourage y'all to call. Call in. Hold on, caller. Caller. Hello. Hi. You actually need to talk to me though. That's a little secret behind calling. So this is super weird. Can you hear me? You can hear me. Okay, we need to figure this out, honey child. I can't for the world of me. It's like it's not picking up what's going through the computer today, which is weird. And I'm like changing microphone settings. Anybody else? Call me on the show line, the 936 number, because I need to figure out what's that doing over there. Denny, where's Denny this morning? When you need Denny to call, he not calling. Also didn't play. Yeah, call me, Kevin, on the 936 number. Can't hear your calls, not coming through. Even the music that you just played was super low. So it's like you're hearing it through the speaker thing, but not through, I don't know what is going on today. Oh, this person says I have COVID, so I can't talk. No, I need somebody who can actually talk to see if it's going to pick them up. All right, Kevin Watler in the house. Hey, Kevin. All right, hold on. Let me see what's going on now. So I can hear you, and the Bluetooth is connected, but radio can't hear you. So hold on a second now. I'm going to keep. And YouTube not hearing me? This is so weird today. How about now? Anything? Anybody? Anything? So we have communications. We have the main. Hello. We have the main. We have the main 2. That should be the same thing as the main. And then we have the Pro Chat 2. Huh. This is really, really weird. I don't know what's going on today. So nobody can hear Kevin? Okay, hold on. We're going to add Denny. We're going to add Denny. Oh, Denny's calling now. Hold on. I think this is going to hang up on Kevin, but hold on. Sir Denny? Hello? Something is going on because, yeah, on the board, I should have slider number, this one should be picking up, and it isn't. I don't know what's going on today. No, but nobody can hear you is the problem. So, huh. Lord have mercy. All right, let me look at something here. Just keep talking, Denny. I'll have to keep talking as well because unfortunately, on the radio side, if I can't keep talking, it's like an automatic thing where it's going to disconnect. So let me just go back to my notes about my settings. So PC settings. Let me just pull up my little audio thing here. So sound output. I have output. I'm going to change this one to this, and I'm going to change this one to that. All right. Can anybody hear Denny speak again? I'm looking at it right now. So then let me check the other settings here. Can't hear the caller still. All right. Nothing has changed with my cables, sir. So it can't be the cables. Main. Hold on now. Let me change this.
I can hear you in the headset.
You can hear me?
I can hear you, yeah, through the phone.
But I don't think they can hear. Let me see now. And that should be speaker, should be set to that. Barely, but very low. I think that to really
Something has happened.
Yeah, I don't really know what it is.
The volume for. Did you change?
Hold on. Hello, caller. Let's just merge and have a little three-way going on here. So the settings here should be microphone main, which is fine, and then that one, okay, and then it should be default main. Denny, can you still hear me? Oh, sorry, I need to put you back on Bluetooth. Okay, there you go.
Something sounds. The volume. You sound distant.
Sounds default main.
All right, now you sound normal.
Now I think people can hear you. Can you guys hear Denny now? You should be able to hear Denny.
I can hear you at a normal level now.
And caller number 2, are you able to hear Denny? Hello? Nobody has more technical difficulties, trust me. Like the caller was, like Chuck was saying earlier, you guys have no clue what it takes. Deanna says perfect. It now works. It's working now. How about the radio, folks? Can y'all hear okay now?
How about the radio? How about the radio?
Radio. Can't hear Denny. Think you need to reboot. I'm hearing Denny now, but you're gone. Good now. Yes, good. I think we have another caller.
It walking now.
It walking now. It walking. Not whatless anymore. Can anybody confirm that they can hear us on radio as well? I don't know what's going on.
Radio check. Radio
okay.
check.
Chuck said I might have gotten it, I think.
Okay. I can't hear you now, Sandra.
Yeah,
Something happened to your.
I wasn't saying anything.
Okay. So you want me to say something, or
I'm just trying to hear if somebody who's listening on radio confirm that you can actually.
I wonder if anyone in radio can hear me.
Yeah, so Anne's gonna run to her car and double check it for us. Yeah, it's so weird.
Run real fast and run really, really fast. That's
So
good.
social media is good. And from the looks of it, hold on, let me play my little jingle again. Hold on, because I think now.
Up on the news, locally, worldwide, every avenue, Polar, shoot podcast, bring it all to.
I think y'all can hear me. I think we're good. We need to play a little song like this.
Yeah, we did it! We did it! We did it! Hooray!
All right, are we good to go? Siobhan, good morning. Jonathan says you're on. Hearing you all loud and clear upon the radio. Thank you, Denny. I don't know what was going on this morning. I tell you, I kind of like try to leave stuff alone. I don't touch anything. And somehow things seem to be changing themselves, honey child. It's like we got a ghost in the CMR studio that we come playing with my board. I even, to make sure that my daughter is not the issue, I even got a little cover for the board and I cover it up because she doesn't really know anything about computers yet. So I don't let her on my computer in any event. So, I try to just leave it. Once it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But something be going on. I don't really know. It's weird. But anyway, thank you guys so much for always being willing to be a little bit of a guinea pig with me. So again, congratulations to Haley Nicole Grizel. Represent Cayman well. We're proud of you, girl. You second runner-up, but in my book, you're a winner this morning. Yes, absolutely love it. This person says, good on radio. Gosh, it's hot outside. All right. Okay, I think we are good to go. So let's listen to a little bit of news, folks. And then after that, nothing on YouTube. What do you mean nothing? Maybe you need a refresh. Sometimes on social media, you got to do that. Working. Isn't there a song about working now? Working. Back to normal, says Anthony. Good morning, Anthony. All right, good folks. Stay tuned for the news. Big shout out to Kevin Watler, keeping you guys updated every single day, live at 9 p.m. so you can catch it the night before. Make sure you keep up to date. And then we'll do a little replay here as well. Awesome.
Hello, I'm Kevin Watler, and this is your CMR Daily Buzz. Police are investigating 2 more robberies. The first occurred shortly after 7:30 Tuesday night on the roadside along Apollo Link in Georgetown. A woman had been walking in the area when a vehicle pulled up in front of her, and a man exited the vehicle with a firearm and demanded her possessions. No shots were fired, and the woman was not injured in the incident. Then, shortly after 1:20 Wednesday morning, police officers received a report of a robbery that occurred outside an apartment complex on Anderson Road in West Bay. It was reported that a woman had just parked at the location when a vehicle pulled up and parked nearby. 3 men exited the vehicle and approached her, and one of the men opened the vehicle door, brandished an unknown object, and demanded cash. The men returned to the vehicle and fled the scene with a mobile phone, several personal items, and cash. The woman was not injured. The police helicopter, the Cayman Islands Fire Service, and the Cayman Islands Customs and Border Control officers rescued 14 Cuban migrants who were adrift last Thursday. A search and rescue operation was launched after the emergency services were notified of the stranded group. The police helicopter located the vessel and used its speaker system to let them know help was on the way. It was later revealed that the migrants had suffered engine failure and had been adrift for 7 days, and drinking water on the boat had been exhausted the day before. The Police Service Commission announces the promotion of 5 officers to the rank of superintendent for the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. The newly promoted superintendents from a strong field of 17 candidates are Brad Ebanks, Roger Williams, Wendy Parchment, Richard Barrow, and Lloyd Marriott. Pirates Fest is here. The official kickoff party takes place in Little Cayman, and visit piratesfestcayman.com for the full list of events for all 3 islands. Executive Commissioner of the Cayman Islands Scout Association Winston Hale retires from the Ministry of Youth's Youth Service Unit following 30 years in the civil service. His former co-workers said he will be missed greatly, and he made a significant impact over the years. Now for your CMR weather update. It's brought to you by WG Charters. Sunrise at 6:27. Sunshine along with some cloudy intervals. Now when the temperature is at 86 degrees Fahrenheit and humidity is at 69% like the forecast calls for, it will feel around 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour, and then the sun sets at 5:50. At nighttime, the temperature falls to the high 70s. Looking forward, it's getting back to hot days, warm nights with the possibility of brief showers. CMR weather updates are brought to you by WG Charters. They offer private boat trips for a great price, and we encourage you to support them. Now for some regional and international news. A warrant has been issued in Jamaica for the arrest of Director of Public Prosecutions Anthony Armstrong. According to reports from Kingston, the warrant was issued within the last 48 hours. The issue stems from a criminal investigation still underway in Jamaica, where Armstrong was found guilty of professional misconduct by Jamaica's disciplinary committee. A decision recently made by the administration of Prime Minister Mia Mottley to rename Independence Day Barbados National Day has been reversed following backlash by several citizens. Earlier this week, Mottley announced that November 30th will no longer be known as Independence Day, but it will be called Barbados National Day to incorporate celebrations for the anniversary of the country becoming a republic. A former Miss Argentina and a former Miss Puerto Rico announced that they secretly got married on October 28th. In a joint post, Mariana Varela of Argentina and Fabiola Valentine of Puerto Rico wrote, "After deciding to keep our relationship private, we now open our doors to a special day." That's it for now on the Daily Buzz. Thank you for joining me. Please stay safe and God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.